everybody. Marhaba. How are we doing today? Very good. Woo! Somebody just gave a decent woo. I like that. Okay. Very well. My name is Adrian Zdunczyk. I'm wearing sunglasses on purpose. It's not going to make me look cooler. My hairline is already pretty fine. So I just need to keep them on for medical reasons. So more importantly, I'd say that it's important to discuss and to understand the actual very big role that the social media plays in our understanding of what's happening in cryptocurrency, in the crypto world, how it impacts the decentralization. How many of you, in show of hands, are part of some sort of crypto community? Raise a hand. Okay, very well. So the next question is, how many of you have ever fallen for a cryptocurrency scam? Raise a hand. A lot of that. A lot of that. It's happening, right? It's very difficult in this world to tell the good from the bad. It's very difficult to actually know which information is correct, which is factual, and what is actually just some sort of like an unconfirmed opinion, right? So last year, perhaps you guys remember, FTX collapsed. It was 1 year since FTX collapsed. A lot of money went gone, disappeared. A lot of money that were being bet on Sam Bankman-Fried. And then the other people who at that time were, you could have said, at the top of the world. Nobody could have seen that coming in a way, right? So we are here today to discuss the very important role of how decentralization can help us actually stop falling for the scams, improve the quality of what we see over the social media, and just maybe how we can utilize this to create better education around blockchain. And today I'm joined by these legends. And from the left-hand side, we've got Elj Boom, who is my dear friend, who's an excellent singer. He can sing a whole song in Polish that I don't even sing properly. He's a founder of Ajoobz, and he's a very popular cryptocurrency influencer, a person that I often look up to. Next, on the left-hand side to Elj, we've got Azim Khan, who is the head of impact at Gitcoin, which is also a pretty interesting project that I'd love to learn more along with you about. And then we have a very popular cryptocurrency and blockchain enthusiast, local, very popular influencer, Doğan. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, kinda. Thank you for that.
So sorry. I'm trying my best. Turkish people are pretty awesome. It's amazing. So, decentralized communities for the next billion. This is what we're talking about. And the very first question actually just comes deeper into understanding the role of social media. So what is the role of social media these days, today, in Web3 growth? Elja.
Of course, not listen everyone, but that's a very border question, like all the questions are really borders. But I believe it's the easy way to get people education, but education, if it's not merged with fun, it will be very hard to attract. And I remember he used to work in Trust Wallet, and he was the one handling the social media. And he's actually sitting here now with us. And he was the one able to make people actually understand Trust Wallet, because it's a DeFi wallet. It was really hard, by adding the education with fun. So people were looking at the fun the first, and of course education falls into it slowly so it can be acceptable. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it's been what I consider sort of the town square where everyone meets to understand what's going on in the space. I got into crypto 2012, 2013 when I was just reading about what was going on in the Bitcoin space. and seeing that evolve over the past few years. It's always been, as I've curated my follow list, at least on Twitter, a lot happens on Discord and Telegram now as well, it's where I spend my time being able to understand in a decentralized way exactly what's going on, because I don't have to make sure to only follow CNN or MSNBC like any sort of Western media. I can follow individuals that I like based on whether it's traders or if it's software developers or it's protocols or it's exchanges, and be able to understand from a town square perspective the important information in real time.
How about Doğukan?
Actually, the traditional media is not a common sense anymore. In the old times, people are using Google it for the first time they are doing something, but anymore they are much more using in the YouTube part, and this is much more has a sincerity because of the influencers or the people giving their own opinions or the reviews about the project or how can I say, the new type of, for example, cryptocurrencies in there. So it's really important, as I think, because it's much more sentiment for the people, for the social media thing, more than the traditional media.
Nice. So those are, of course, very good answers. If we go a little bit deeper, what has been the impact of social media? How easy has it actually made for the Web3 community to grow at all? Has there been any impact whatsoever? Does it make it easier? What do you think?
I mean, it's really, yes, of course. I mean, like the same as anything in life. I mean, if you have a Web2 product, Web3 product, if you don't have people that they listen, even if you have a makeup or even when you're wearing these cool stuff and you're showing it, you're doing a Web2 marketing, right? You're influencing people to do this lifestyle. So definitely, of course. I mean,
I'm just trying to look good next to you, my man.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, it's where all of us end up going to be able to find out everything that's going on. And so I don't know exactly what we would do without it, though I'm very curious to see how the evolution of it takes place. Twitter has been doing a lot of things to create its own downfall, and we've been looking at what's going on in decentralized Web3. And while I wouldn't say that that's taken off in a mainstream way at all, Farcaster is definitely where some of the most crypto enthusiasts are now hanging out to talk about things and have left Twitter. And so we've seen, for the most part, the last 20 years, a very centralized social media where everyone goes to specific platforms for everything. What I'm very curious about with Web3 and how we move forward is sort of a fragmented social media market where some people will be on Mastodon, others will be on Blue Sky, some will stay on Twitter, some are on Lens, some are on Farcaster, and seeing how those communities end up developing in different parts of the ecosystem.
That makes sense. Doğukan, do you actually think the same? Do you agree with Azeem?
Sure. This is, of course, yes question. Social media is very crucial for the Web3 and all the blockchain part because it's a very new thing. People are a lot of questions in their mind and they want to ask you and they want looking for the answers actually in this project. And social media giving that opportunity and reaching the people one by one, or maybe giving them much more deeper informations about that. So I think it will be it has a crucial role and it will be in the future as well.
Speaking about the trends, right? The decentralized communities, decentralization, Web3, what sort of trends are we seeing today? Is there any particular direction for the Web3 communities to congregate, to gather, to discuss? Is there any particular space to do it? Is there any form, again, that so many projects just try to mimic and copy to make them look similar?
Okay, now there's two questions, Kemi. I actually like this question. I always say the problem between Web2 and Web3, Web3 is very fast. So the cycle in terms of investment and return of investment, losing your money, etc., is very fast. The trends as well, very fast. Like we had, I remember, NFTs, memes, DeFi, and then we go back to, what's it called? I forgot. Anyways, there are some as well, protocol games, and now SocialFi, and then AI died, and then AI came back. So, and this all happening within a year. It's not happening within a decade. So it's very, very fast. So regarding to the platforms, which is the other questions, do people follow the trend? Yes. Is it healthy? Maybe, because most of them, they are doing it just for the sake of making money fast, because You can just build a project. If everyone's saying AI, just make Kuku Inu AI, and you just launch, and that's really sad. But at the end, is it getting the market to be matured by time? Yes. But as well, there are real builders coming with real value, real ethics, which they're going to add a value in the Web3. But of course, they have a bigger fight to do, but it's a part of the game.
That makes sense. Azim, what kind of particular trend have you noticed lately in the community?
It's sort of speaking to what I was earlier saying, is that Lens protocol is where all of the creators are going in terms of the artist community. So the musicians and the writers and everyone else is hanging out on Lens protocol, which has been doing amazing things and being able to foster and help to monetize communities in the Web3 ecosystem. Farcaster is absolutely where a lot of the protocol builders and deep developer type people are hanging out. Twitter is still where you go to find alpha on which token is going to be doing what. Discord, and especially Telegram as well, if you want to have communities where they're a little bit more closed off based on specific things. I look at Discord as almost having separate subreddits as a place that you can have conversations in. And so whichever communities that you're more interested in, you join their Discords and get to find out what's going on and get to interact with people in that community as well. And then the Telegram, whether you're individually talking to people, I see Telegram as a social media source more than I do just a chatting platform. And so the trend that I've, for the most part, been seeing is that we're decentralizing the way that it's being done. In the past, everyone spent all of their time on Twitter, but now, depending on what it is that you're looking to accomplish, you're going to go to, once you've done your work, the specific place where the best information and the best alpha is coming from.
That makes sense. Doğukan, what's, and I mean your honest opinion, what's the #1 platform that you personally use to gather information, to give information for anything Web3 related, communities related?
Actually, normally I can ask, for me, it's not a Twitter, but it's in general, it's a Twitter, unfortunately. But I think that Twitter has a very limited users right now. Correct. We are all talking with the same people in a circle, like a circle in there. So I'm just trying to expand it. For example, I'm using Instagram much more lately. Oh, welcome there, cat. Because there is no information around that. Normally, there is a lot of users on the Instagram right now, but no one is using them, and no one is creating content on them. So I just try to use them and trying to get a global adoption from here. Because if you're in the Twitter, you're already get used to in a crypto. But you're in the TikTok, or you're in maybe in Instagram, maybe you are not related. For example, in YouTube also, you can get in the discover part because YouTube can recommend you, but the Twitter don't have that algorithm. And we all know that if you want to adapt a global adoption, we need to reach much more people. And for those people, we need to symbolize our language because, for example, we are using our own language. We are talking too much crypto related. So the new users, newcomers won't understand what I'm saying. This is why we need to simplify maybe our words in the crypto so we can adopt the new users in the global adoption. This is important for me, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense, right? I ask you this question because, of course, you're a very popular influencer content creator, and we all use different sorts of tools, right? However, we tend to very often, like myself, I completely missed out on, let's say, the social fire, right? I wasn't part of the what was it called, the Fin. Yeah, exactly, right? So there are so many.
Another one called Fin 3 on the BNB.
Can you speak into the microphone?
I don't want to share it.
You don't want to share it, okay. It's gonna be too good. Yeah, so it's very important again to I think just get the actual picture of what the legends, like we have on the panel today, what they use, right? So taking a little bit step back, we've spoken about the role of social media. How about the blockchain? How can we actually use blockchain as a technology, what it is, to power the Web3 growth, to accelerate the decentralized communities?
This question's been, okay, anyways. It's very hard to answer. It's like really long.
Maybe it's in the morning.
Because we don't have time. Okay, for the, let's talk at the issue, okay? At the moment, is the blockchain ready for mass adoption? I think most of the chains are not ready for mass adoption. That's why they're every time coming with a new blockchain, a new layer 1, a new layer 2, a new ZK, B, C, D, and it's just keep coming up, right? And till now, the people are in Web3 are very, very small compared to what we need to have. So first of all, I always say stress the problem to know what is the right solution. The problem in Web3, in my opinion, at the moment, that there are so many chains are coming, the same as every bull run coming, and then they vanish after 2 years, while we don't even have the number of users that they even need this blockchain till today. But how you can know it when you stress the problem? If that was true, I don't want to say the name of the chain, which is expensive, but the TVL is there, the user base are there, and they're still sometimes paying $50 gas fee because it's not stressed. Now stress it, get like 10 million people on the chain, and then you're going to see people leaving, and then you're going to see the exact issue, and then you're going to see the good blockchain or the right technology need to be stressed to fix this problem. That's the problem here. No one is trying to fix the main problem, which is bringing Web2 users to Web3. They're just creating 50 projects for the same community. It's almost now we're going to have a metaverse for every user, his own metaverse project. So yeah, that's my opinion in general.
That makes sense. I love listening to Elj speak all the time, right? Because there's so much I can learn. And speaking of Azeem right now, if you were to name one, just one that in your opinion is the most important one value feature that blockchain gives us, what's going to be to facilitate the growth of Web3?
This is a longer answer. I think for the most part, I'm waiting for blockchains to be invisible. I think I'm tired of hearing people talk about why I should use a blockchain. I just want the products to be good. I don't know how email works. I don't know how my iPhone works. I don't know how most of the technologies that I use actually work. I just want them to work, and I want them to work well. When people try to convince me that blockchains are better, it would be the same as if someone came to me in a Web2 product and said, my product is great because we use MySQL. And if someone ever came to me and said that, I would just laugh at them. But crypto people consistently think that we're going to win people over by telling people that we're using blockchains. So I think the biggest thing we need is to make the blockchains invisible. And it's going to be interesting to see when we finally are able to get there. Stress testing the products, I also do agree that our products in terms of blockchains are not ready for the sort of mass adoption that we're looking to achieve. But just on the topic of shadow banning and censoring that goes on, I think one of the most important reasons that we need it is because having centralized entities owning your accounts and owning the ability to decide that they don't like what you're saying, so they're just going to shadow ban you or kick you off the account is exactly, and there are so many things going on in the world right now that we absolutely need the ability to not be censored. And so I'd say that's the biggest reason we need it, but in terms of how we achieve it, I think it's crypto people need to make products people want to use and not think that we'll use it just because it's on a different application layer for the database.
Do you agree, actually, Doğukan, that blockchain should be invisible, or should we somehow just focus on one specific feature to develop?
No, I think that should be visible as well, because that gives a lot of opportunity to the users. Everyone can see, everyone can develop. When you're in the blockchain, there is endless opportunities you can do. If you're a developer and if you have a creativity, I think there is no limit in the blockchain right now, or even we don't know it yet, because our creativity is not enough for that, I guess. So visibility and the trustability, transparency is very important, I guess, in the blockchain part.
That makes sense. So knowing that, again, the visibility may or may not be important, which is, again, there are various opinions. Probably in terms of the user acquisition, if we don't need to click 5,000 buttons, it may be a little bit easier to utilize what actually blockchain is, right? However, at the same time, we come to masses. We come to groups of millions of people, to the large communities. And at times, it's very difficult to make decisions in such groups, right? Because there are so many opinions, there are so many choices, so many decisions to be made. While at the same time, some decisions in terms of, for instance, growing community or project in a specific direction In terms of the voting, they still need to be facilitated, right? So let's take a minute and talk about the actual role of decentralized organizations, decentralized autonomous organizations, DAOs, and how it is actually used. You know, can it be efficient? Are DAOs efficient at all, Elja?
Bitcoin was created to remove any counterparty. So that's the main reason, right? And to give the power to the people. Of course, because it's the scalability and Bitcoin maxis, I'm good with you, but for the scalability, people start doing other layers, right? And we've seen recently a swap where they made a vote and they actually asked for the community as a governance to vote. And basically, thanks to one of the product that is inside Binance, it's called Arkham, they showed that there is a VC controlling almost 30%, 33% of the vote in different wallets. And that's not a decentralization. That's wink, wink, decentralization is not real. And yes, I do believe that people need to share the economy, share the vote, share the governance, but we need these type of products that actually can check the history of these wallets and link them together to know if it's real or not, because I don't want to say decentralized. Most of the product are not decentralized. The governance is not really governance. I mean, if you really looked into it, it's like few whales are controlling it, and it's governance. It's not governance. It's not giving mass power to the people, right? But we have protocols coming like that, which we need that in the DeFi world. Because you're building decentralized, you need more product in decentralized world. You need more product for chain analysis, for even on-chain copy trading and these things that you actually collect data and give you data, and then AI will come to analyze this data and link them together or not. So once this happens, then I believe in decentralization more and more. But now it's decentralization wink wink, you know?
Decentralization wink wink. Azim, do you actually agree with that?
Honestly, yeah. So for anyone who may not know, Gitcoin is one of the most prominent DAOs out. We've been giving grants to software developers since 2019. We've distributed about $60 million to date based on private valuation of companies who've raised after getting grants from us or who have launched tokens, and looking at market cap highs. We've created close to $30 billion in global financial value through those projects. Uniswap, Gnosis, Yearn, MakerDAO, Bankless, Wallet Connect, like the list goes on and on and on of projects that were once Gitcoin grantees and have gone on to be very successful. And so that has put us in a very good place when it comes to DAOs. But I'd have to agree is that for the most part at the moment, I think part of it is for a lack of tooling, but there's a lot of decentralized theater that goes on. I'm the highest delegated token holder at Gitcoin, and I think that I have way too much of a conflict of interest to actually be that person, even though, you know, that power has been delegated to me. I actually necessarily don't think it should be, because if I wanted to use it for more nefarious purposes, it would be very easy for me to do so. And just because I choose not to doesn't mean that others in the same position would act in the same way. And so while I can't say exactly what needs to be done for us to get to a point where decentralization is more real, at the moment it's definitely, we tell people things are decentralized because it can look that way. You can spread it across wallets or whatever it may be, but at the end of the day, there are a handful of whales that are doing everything. Part of my job is raising money for us to be able to distribute for our grants rounds. And a lot of that involves me going to forums for all of the other prominent DAOs and writing proposals so that we can get them to pass. But that means that I'm most intimately involved in understanding who are the whales that I need to talk to behind the scenes before I post something on the forum to guarantee that I'm going to get the number of votes that I need to be able to get this item to pass. And so if I know that there's 3, 5, 7 people that I need to talk to at each DAO to actually make sure I can get 6 figures or 7 figures from them to distribute in grants rounds, like how decentralized are we really at the end of the day?
That makes a lot of sense. Doğukan, what would you say is the way to make DAOs overall more efficient?
Actually, I'm thinking about that. This is the only thing that I'm talking about, the DAOs. Decentralized organizations are not that decentralized yet. This is the biggest problem. they're just saying that, oh, okay, everyone can their votes. Also, Azim and Elja said that they're having much more shares and much more coins, and they are giving higher votes or ratios. So this is a problem, I guess. Maybe every holder can get a one vote. It could be a one case, but even if in the decentralized world, they can just split up their tokens in the different wallets. So this is also a problem. They can just have a problem on that part as well. So we are just so early in the DAO parts. We need the road to go. There is still needs some improvements to do. In the early days, okay, we say we have DAOs, but are we? Don't know.
That's a valid question, open-ended question, right? So if we again just know for a fact that DAOs are to an extent efficient, that they are to an extent decentralized, there's always the spectrum, right? However, what DAOs are about, those are the group large, again, quantities of people, the group large communities that try to gather together and just decide upon certain directions. And statistically, it's been proven also psychologically that there are biases in groups, right? Some people fall for the biases for polarization, for different sorts of cascades. Those are psychological effects, and at times they are very difficult to get rid of, which is very easy for the false information to spread at times, right? So if we take into account again how important that is to find reliable information, the one that is verified, the one that is true, right? See what Elon Musk is doing with the community nodes, for instance. So taking it for an example, what can be done in the Web3 industry in terms of decentralization to ensure that the information is correct? Doğukan, let's start with you.
I think the first thing that, as we all know from the Binance, that do your own research is the best important thing. If the one person comes there as they're looking to place the crypto, all the Web3 business like a gamble, okay, I need to earn money. I need to find a place to get my money to the 10x, 50x. No, you will not. This is not an easy place. You need to investigate first. You need to read the white papers. You need to look up the partners. You need to look the background of the project. These are the most important parts. If you're just doing, okay, he said you need to buy something. Okay, I will buy it. No, you will lose it. The research and looking the backgrounds of the project, understanding the system is the key in here. No, everyone is coming here from newcomers stating, oh, it's easy money in the crypto. No, guys, it's not. I can easily say that, and all the people inside will probably say that too. It's not an easy money on the crypto. We need to look at the research and look at the backgrounds of the projects. These are the really important parts on my own.
That makes sense. Azeem, how do we stop spreading of the misinformation in the Web3 industry?
That's $1 billion, maybe $1 trillion question that I actually do not have an answer to.
And you're just about to hear the answer, yeah?
If I had to say, I think it has to do, similar to what he's saying, is that a lot of people come into this space trying to figure out how they can make easy money, and there is no easy money.
Same question, Elja.
Actually, I'm going to get the $1 billion if you manage now. If you keep your promises. Actually, it can be solved. The point is you cannot rely on human, because this space is running very fast in terms of technology, projects, people direction and movement. So the only thing can come here is AI. So if AI got well trained, and you have people like this guy, he's an Italian guy, he's one of the smart people in research actually. I've been in BNB ecosystem for a long time, and he does a lot of research, and his space is becoming red now. So he's gonna fill the data, and people verifying it by time. And AI will know right away how to react into it. That's the only solution can happen. You just need to train the engine, fill it with the data, with the right people. At the beginning, they will get verified by the community. If it's okay, they're gonna have the green light. The AI will take care after that. It's not gonna kill it, but it will minimize it, maybe, right? Half a billion now.
The AI. Ladies and gentlemen, there's so much to be discussed, from social media, blockchain utility, the decentralization in terms of the DAOs, the voting systems, spreading misinformation. Also, Elja gave us a glimpse into AI. There are so many topics to be discovered, and so many of them are happening at the Binance Blockchain Week. So congratulations to you for attending this early in the morning while having some of you your first coffee, because the fact that you're here, you're giving yourself a chance to actually make it. So congratulations to you. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here. And and listening to our excellent panelists today, and give them even warmer round of applause to our panelists. Doğukan, Doğan, Azim Khan, and Eljaboom. I've been your host, Adrian Zdunczyk. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, everyone.